Hi guys, so it's been about a month now since I got into medieval wargaming, that's with Pillage and a Baron's War, and I've been working very hard on building my first ever wargaming table. It's coming along a treat, and I've been printing out obviously loads of buildings and terrain pieces. So my Halo X1 3D printer certainly has been put through its paces over the last month as well. It's almost been non-stop printing, but everything has been coming out perfectly. So as you can see, there will be videos, guys, on this board. It is almost complete. It could be a long video because I did a lot of mistakes and changing of things. But as always, whenever I do make mistakes in anything, leave them in the video, just because, well, it's a great way of learning from your mistakes or even someone else's mistakes. So, as I say, I've been 3D printing out loads of bits for this and obviously painted them. There's been several videos showing me painting several parts, and obviously there'll be a few more videos. But the one thing I want to do today, and that is, well, I've got these lovely Vikings here, but obviously they've got nowhere to hide or jump out of for an ambush. So it's trees. Yep, so this video is going to show how well, these trees were sort of made, where I got them from, and how I've done, well, they're bushy tops, I guess. But obviously there will be videos out showing all the little bits and pieces, as well as this lovely Viking ship. Guys, I am such a big kid and absolutely loving this. I've played one game of Pillage, absolutely loved it with my son. Got loads more games lined up, and the fact that we've now got a Viking ship is just awesome. Again, there'll be a video coming up of this. So I say, with most of the bits and pieces you can see on this table, I've got from Printable Scenery. I've got their King and Country range, and there's absolutely a ton of awesome buildings in there. And I've also got another one of their recent campaigns, and it's got a lot more medieval, like jousting and castles and stuff. But obviously, it's trees I'm after. And I say printable scenery has been my go-to for everything. And the one thing I really love about their stuff, obviously, it looks great, great detail. But a lot of the buildings they do as a full building, and then as a damaged, ruined building, which is great because obviously it can look nice and neat. When it's been pillaged and burnt down, you can then replace it with the burnt out one. So obviously, I want to look for some trees. There's a whole variety, again, printable scenery. I'll leave links down below. Absolutely a ton of lovely stuff, all been printed out on, say, the Halo X1 printer, and everything's just come out beautifully. So a whole range of trees. But what I've seen from other people's sort of videos is if you get a thin tree, the chances are it's going to keep falling over. So I wanted one with a nice sort of chunky sort of base to it. Um, Although I think the ones I'm showing you aren't the ones I picked out. I'm not too sure. Again, memory like a sieve. Ridiculous. So yes, I've gone for some chunky looking base ones. Just so when these go on the table, the chances are I'm still going to knock them over. But there'll be less chance of them just sort of falling over on their own. So say it's the Halo X one I'm using. This is their slicer software. Easy to use as always. To drag and drop the items you want. Resize if need to. So with printable scenery, everything on their page is set for 32 millimeters. You just got to scale it down to 28, which is basically 87.5%. So the Halo, obviously, a bit different to a lot of printers, as in the build plate on this stays still. It's the resin vat that comes up. Obviously, I've sped this up so it ain't rotten. It doesn't really go up and down this quick. So if it did, I think it would fall apart. But yeah, really weird way it does go up and down. And then once it is done, obviously we take it out. And the other thing I love about this is the flappy paddles. And what I mean by that is these black sort of paddles on the either side. All you got to do is twist them up and down, and it releases the prints. So yeah, guys, I know I'm not wearing gloves. That's because I'm not expecting to get any resin on my hand. Again, I'm just showing you the fact that you can take this off the build plate without scraping it and all the rest of it. Obviously, if you are going to touch this, then yeah, put gloves on, as you'll see in a minute. So this has been through the wash. And now, obviously, you just need to take off the supports. So as you can see, yeah, that's the bottom bit. I'll say the flappy paddles. There's probably a better name for them than flappy paddles, but that's what I like using, and yeah, it works beautifully. So yeah, as always, supports come off. The things I get from printable scenery are 3D pre-supported, just because obviously it saves me having to mess about doing any of that. And yeah, it's a nice and chunky looking trees, which is pretty cool and what I need. Obviously, slimy little things like now. So these have been in for the wash, and then just need to go in for the cure, and then obviously ready to paint. So I've been using the Colour Forge primers now for at least 4 years. Obviously, normally matte black, and then do the dry brush in white. but I do like to try out a variety of different colours. And obviously, well, these are trees, so why not spray them or prime them in a brown? Kind of makes sense, I guess. Although I'm going to go over them with speed paint, so you probably couldn't tell it was brown on underneath anyway. Anyway, that's just a bit of waffling. So yeah, dry brushing. So we are going to use speed paints, even though I probably could just paint on this brown, and I probably could just put a wash over the top, to be honest. Um, in fact, yeah, that would have made a whole lot more sense. The thing is, I might do that next time because I am making a lot more trees. I want to have a couple of areas that can be sort of forests. Or I've recently just bought some trays to put all these bits and pieces in. Um, yeah, this is about sort of the most amount of scenery and terrain pieces I've built for a wargaming board. And obviously the board is quite large. It's pretty much 3 foot by 4 foot. I think it might be just a few millimeters under, but not by much. So yeah, a relatively large board. Well, definitely for me this is. So I've never played on a board this big. I've only ever used like kill team boards. So for me, yeah, this is a big board. Absolutely loved making it though, I must admit, because I like to make things so they all blend in. So you could take some nice sort of shots, as though it's like a diorama. So as well as being a playable board game, yeah, it obviously looks really good with everything set up on it, which I can't wait. So I played one game of Pillage so far with my son. Absolutely loved it. Real easy to pick up and play. We did leave out a few rules, and I think we made a few mistakes as we went along, which is understandable. But yeah, I've got a mate coming round. Well, come round tonight actually, and we're going to have a game of Pillage as well. So the guy I used to play Kill Team with, so he's obviously got an understanding of roughly sort of the rules. But yeah, can't wait to get this going. And as you saw from the beginning, yeah, I've made a Viking longship. Guys, honestly, I really do feel like a big kid when I'm printing and painting this stuff, but I absolutely love it because obviously I'm a big kid that can get to make a ton of stuff. So the trees, yeah, say looking back, I really should have just done a wash over these, and then that would have been pretty much it, as opposed to painting them with a speed paint. But then obviously they are rather dark looking. Yeah, I'm starting to run out of speed paint. I need to get some more. So yeah, so then I thought, well, let's do some highlights on the thing. And to do the highlights, one of the easiest ways is obviously dry brushing. So I've now got another brown, this driftwood brown, and obviously, yeah, doing some dry brushing. But again, yeah, looking back, so this is why I do like watching my videos back, even though obviously I'm watching it for the first time when I'm editing it. But yeah, it is fun watching them back afterwards, just because sometimes I forget how I've done something, because as I said, I've got a memory like a sieve. Luckily, I've always had a memory like a sieve. I don't think it's getting worse. If it is, well, I wouldn't know. Yeah, so doing some dry brushing on all of them. So yeah, this is another reason why I like the fact that these trees are big and chunky. Because if these had sort of small, very thin branches, the chances are me dry brushing as hard as I'm doing this, they they would break off. But just goes to show, yeah, the resin's good. Say the Halo X1 printer is good. Yeah, guys, links down below as always to pretty much everything I use in videos, whether it's the sort of products, resins, or even where I get the 3D printable stuff from. Yeah, links down below. Some of them are affiliate links, guys. It doesn't cost you anything, but if you use the link and then buy something, then I get a few pennies back, and obviously the company then likes me, and they might send me some more stuff to try out in the future. So kind of win-win. So yeah, pretty much sort of dry brushed everything, and then it came to you could 3D print the canopies for these, but I really fancied making something a bit more organic. So you'll see that in just a second. But say with the basing, I mean it's the same basing now. I use tons of glue there, a bit watery, tons of I don't know what I'm saying now, guys. Oh, yeah, basically blending in everything I'm sort of 3D printing. Again, I want it to blend in with the terrain that I've got, just so when I do take some pictures like dioramas, then yeah, everything looks more natural, organic. So everything, all bases, including all the miniature figures, and even the buildings have some of the static grass around the bottom. It's the same grass that I've used on the big board itself. So say, guys, the board, it's 99% done. I just need to do a few more tinkering bits with it. I've been filming the whole stage of me making the board. I did make a couple of changes and possible mistakes, but again, they'll be left in the video just so you can see where I went wrong. Or it wasn't exactly where I went wrong, but I had a change of plan. Let's put it that way. Anyway, enough of that video. Let's get back to this. So yeah, trying to make the bases look a bit more sort of natural, organic, and obviously blend in with the rest of the wargaming table. So I've started using the sieve now, just because it comes out obviously nice and fine. Who knew? Yeah, because sometimes I used to put it between my fingers and sort of twiddle it, but it could get a bit clumpy. Whereas at least using the little sieve, yeah, you know it's going to be nice and fine. So that's all the bases done. I say now the top. I could have 3D printed the top, put it on and painted it. But I've got this stuff. I don't know what it is. I'll need to try and find out what this is and then leave you links. I've got a feeling I got it from Temu, so it's only a couple of quid, and obviously it can be used for, well, hedges and leaves and stuff on top of trees. It's really weird stuff. It kind of gets tangled up in all sorts, but you can obviously just rip clumps off, and then obviously I'm going to attempt, well, to glue it, but I'm going to use some Gouda glue just because obviously this stuff, you got a bit more working time with this. I mean, it sets as good as super glue, but obviously well, you got a good minute or two before it really starts to go off. That's if I can get any out. I've just ordered another bottle of this because this is one of the glues that I do use quite a lot every now and then. Yeah, it can go months and months and months without using this, but then when I do use it, I typically use, well, quite a lot. So it's a case of going around doing, again, guys, this is my first time doing sort of trees and this kind of wargaming base. So my videos are here not to show you how to do it, but to show you how I did it. Whether that's right or wrong, well, time will tell. But again, this is why I love watching other people's videos, and I love reading your comments on how you make bases and trees and the like. Just because obviously it'll help me improve, well, what I do for my board. So with this, yeah, it was just a case plonking it on, pushing it down, making sure it goes over all the tree trunks and branches that are obviously on these trees, because they're all different. Well, there's 5 different types, which is pretty cool. And I printed some out in reverse just to make them look a little bit different from, well, the ones that aren't in reverse. So then all these little dangly bits is a case of trying and getting them to sort of stay on the top. They do keep falling down, but obviously perseverance will get there eventually, I guess. And then I just want to seal the whole thing. And I'm using a good old PVA water sort of mix in my little spritzer bottle. And yeah, again, say first time doing this, guys, there could be a better way of doing this. If there is, by all means, let me know. I might try it for the next ones. But again, everything came out well. It came out good. I like the look of it. Obviously, it gets a bit messy doing this bit. And again, all these little dangly bits, I try to push back up just so they're not, well, dangly bits anymore. And then once it dries, obviously, the only thing with PVA glue, it does take a long time. So typically, just leave it overnight, good 24 hours or whatever. But then, yeah, it all sort of dried really well. Again, the first time doing this, wasn't 100% sure what would really happen. But yeah, no, it's all dried nicely. It's got a bit of spring to it. It's a bit firmer, obviously, because there's a lot of PVA glue in there, sort of keeping it all together. But yeah, absolutely love how these. I can't say first time doing trees. They got a bit of shine on them, so I do go over them with a matte varnish. I mean, maybe the matte varnish would have just done the trick on sort of sealing everything. I'm not too sure. Either way, I'm pleased with how these have come out. So say I've got about 5 trees, a couple of fallen down ones. I will be well, I've actually printed already out another 10. Just because I say want to do like if I want to do a forest here or there, or a couple of little sort of clumps of trees where we can have some Vikings, and they can do an ambush coming out of these things. But say I'm moving these figures around like a big kid. Already in my head, I'm sort of imagining kind of what they're doing. But yeah, say love the trees, nice and simple, printable scenery, printed out on the Halo X1, and then painted by an old big kid. But love it, guys. Don't forget the video coming up on the screen soon. Give that a click, see more of what I do. Don't forget a like, share, subscribe, leave comments, all that wonderful stuff. So there's going to be quite a few more videos coming up. Me painting a few more of the buildings you can see here. I say I will be doing a castle, or at least a castle wall at some time, just to sort of well, just my Vikings to attempt to sort of break into. But yeah, the actual board itself, as you can see, loving it. Yeah, I'm going to be playing a game of this tonight. Same mates coming round. Still quite a few more little bits and pieces I want to do here and there. And I say it's nearly ready for me to sort of get the whole video put together and to show you guys. And I say, obviously, I'm really super keen about showing off the pirate ship, the pirate ship, the Viking longship. Just because again, this will be used in sort of games. Uh, Vikings coming out of the ship and other people trying to burn down the ship. Anyway, that's enough waffling. You guys take care. See you in the next one. Bye for now.